Hey fam, I see we got people up in the house right now. This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Hey, Shalom, my brother from Miami, Florida. Alrighty. I appreciate y'all coming in here this morning. I'm gonna sit tight here for a second. And just here today, right now, it's 4:04, 4 past the hour in the afternoon. And shalom, welcome family, everybody that's in. Top of the morning to all, yeah, okay. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna share some African spirituality here, something that I think is important to each and every one of us, that on my journey here that I'm embarking on, just some things that ring out to me and things that kind of stand out when I converse and meet with people. I went out today here in Nairobi and was able to just observe. So we're gonna sit tight for a second and we're going to wait till people come in this morning. Good morning, good afternoon from Washington State. Audacious Queen Z. Yeah, man, it's what time out there? I know it's gotta be wee hours of the morning there, What is it, 6 o'clock there in Washington State? Good afternoon, yeah, from Audacious, you said. Greetings from Jamaica. What time is it in Jamaica, Brenton? What time is it out there in Jamaica? If you're still living in Jamaica, you might be elsewhere. 5:05 a.m. in Washington State. Okay, all right. Good morning, Bernetta Kriglier from Atlanta. Good morning, my brother from San Diego, says Alfonso. Good morning, family, yeah. Y'all up early, man, wow. Y'all must be night workers or must be unemployed, sitting back collecting that big $1,200 stimulus check that the president graciously gave people, I guess, Peace and blessings from London, UK. Well, London, UK should be about 4 hours behind me. It should be about 12 noon out there, I think. Nassar. Yeah, good morning from Las Vegas. Zandra. Yeah. Wow. Dale Bond, 6 o'clock in the morning. All right. All right, the traveling Israelite, retired here, okay. Retired Israelite, okay. No stimulus, Bernetta? Okay, I know, I didn't get one either. I haven't seen it. They said, I guess I make too much or something, If you got any type of pension or retirement or 401ks and all that, they want to check your money out to see you ain't getting no stimulus package, 8:08 a.m. in Jamaica. Okay, Brent, yeah. Good morning from Pennsylvania. Yeah, my wife, she just arrived in New York City. She just texted me about a half hour ago. They made it and they arrived there safely. It was a long, about 14-hour flight from here. So they made it there and all. So hey, we're very thankful for you all's well wishes and those who spoke out into the bosom of the Creator. This atmosphere is a beautiful thing. And I wanted to share some stuff, man, with that vibration. People, man, it's amazing, man, these fads and sayings that come along and people don't even understand what they're saying. Greetings from Stuttgart, Germany. I lived in Stuttgart, Frank. Lived in Stuttgart. I was a young boy. Gosh, I was from the 1st to the 4th grade, I was in Germany. Stuttgart, Germany. Yes, my dad was stationed there. I'll be out your way, man, for the first time real soon. Giovanni Moore. I'm thinking that is to me. Okay. But a little late today. Grand Rising. You're not late at all. God is merciful. You're not late at all. From Boston. Up studying to teach and counsel my tribe members. Hey, awesome. No waiting for reparation scraps. Love to your empress and your heiress. I pray for them. Yes, they made it safely there. From here to New York City. They will be in about 3 more hours, be on their last leg back to Ohio. Hello, Mineral Mama from Atlanta. Mineral Mama. Hey, I like that name, Mineral Mama. Okay. Hey, do you happen to know Mama Pill? I was out there in Atlanta, outside Atlanta she lives. I went to Mama Pill's place. Got some herbs from Mama Pill. Sure enough, do. Those who know Red Pill, Blue Pill, her sons. She also was a wife of Dr. Sabi. So Mama Pill, yeah, she's in the ATL. I think she's still out there. That's right outside there. Gosh, what's the name of it? I can't forget the name of the city. Just before coming from the east on going into Atlanta, one of those boroughs out there, whatever you call them. The traveling is right. We will be in Ghana on the 27th, okay, of this month, and not looking to come back. All right. Okay. All right. Where area in Ghana are you looking at settling? Let the people know. Oh, okay, Frank. Ben's Manufacturer City. Oh, is it? I did not know that. All right. Hello from Nairobi, Kenya. Morris Asir. Hey, where you at? I'm right here in Nairobi. I'm over here and I'm in Westland, over by the mall right now, chilling in the Airbnb. Not happy with this Airbnb either. You know, it's you know, some of these Airbnbs, you gotta be careful, folks, because, you know, they show the interior, but they really don't show the exterior. And, you know, I'm a little spoiled. I am. I'm a little spoiled in where I like to lay my head. You know, I don't cut costs sometimes on laying my head at certain places. I don't mind getting down and on a floor or on a cot, on a mattress, whatever at times. Sometimes we gotta be careful when it comes to, you know, these Airbnbs. Okay, a Cebu land. All right. Well, hey, did you get your? I guess sound like you purchased you some land and you're gonna be doing some building. I was out there at a Cebu. Had somebody reach out to me about a Cebu land. Gave him some information out there, right there. If you need any more information about a Cebu land, go visit EKOW Simpson. He has a website. He's a YouTube channel, rather. He's got a YouTube channel, Echo, actually, EKOW, Echo Simpson. He's done a lot of work on that Cebu land and what's the haps going on and all that. I did some videos off of that and put out there some application for you to fill out the application fee, $700 for the free land out there in Cebu outside of Elmina. Pretty neat place. I personally know somebody who's building their house right now. Got their house foundation up and they're building. They probably got the walls up because I've been going right now for the last month and a half. So yeah, well that's good, traveling Israelite. Hey, says S. Agoro. Yeah, shout out from Norfolk, Virginia. Get this home. Yeah, okay. All right, Norfolk, Virginia. I got family right out there in Norfolk. Sure enough, do. Well, Chesapeake. Chesapeake, my mom and my sister lives right there in Chesapeake area. And my niece and nephews are over there in the Hampton Roads area. Yeah. Yep. Eco Simpson. Yeah. YouTube. That's his channel. Check him out. He's done a lot of footage on the Cebu land out there for you all who are interested in going to Ghana and get some free land. Okay, you bought 2 acres of farmland. Okay, all right. Okay. What's poppin', Black to Africa? Richard Redmond. All right. Not much, eh? Just another day. Good morning from Orlando, Florida. TD Paul. Yeah, you know, let's wait till a few more people come. We got 92 people in the house. Yeah, just want to shed some light, you know, on this African vibration. A word that many of us are throwing words around. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna hip you to some of my spiritual awakenings here in the last 12 years or so, okay? And what this game is being pimped by people who are in, and I'm saying, not saying everybody, but those who are being pimped by those who are in positions in religion, those who are in positions of so-called fortune telling or future telling or reading, reading palms and those who want to call themselves prophets and prophetess. I'm gonna bring some information for y'all to hold on to and just to consider, not to bash anybody in the religions, not to bash anybody or what have you. But there's some things that we have to be aware that when generations pass us, our generations, our so-called elders pass away, we step up to the next plate. And when we get enough years underneath our belt, we you know, you've been around a block or two and you start to see fads come and go, and then they reappear again. And then they have different names, terminologies. They have different ways of where the newer generation don't even have a clue unless the elders hip them to it, you know? So I want to get into that this morning of vibration and what it really means. Because I see there's some people who are being fooled or suckered or misled into some of the, what I would call, actions of those people who are misleading them. Let's see here. Good morning from Georgia, says Grace Davis. Yeah, so we're gonna wait for here a few more people come in. We have Miss Towns. I'm from an ATL, Georgia. I'm very interested in visiting Ghana and purchasing land. They're possibly starting a new life. Yeah, I froze there for a second. I had a phone call that came in. Bear with me. If we go in and out, just bear with me. I'll be right back. Yvette Reed, yay, caught my first live. Good morning from Indianapolis. Yeah, but you know, hey, sometimes you're not going to be able to convince your folks to do anything. You know, sometimes, you know, they are set in their ways and they're happy where they are. Nothing against those folks out there, you know. Sometimes you're going to have to sever the ties at point in time in life and go on to where you feel as though is rightful for you. Yeah, the Queen Key, greetings, vibrating high. Yeah, we're going to talk about that word vibrating high. You know, hey, good black, go black. How are you doing? I'm doing great, full of joy. Everybody's coming in. It's all good this morning. And so the Peace and Blessings, doing Garvey TV, Peace Black checking in from Jersey. I'm building in Tanzania. Okay, are you? All right. A school is my vision, which something that has already been happening. Due to why status, I can't go into depth. Okay. All right. Yeah, good. Yeah, I know, Miss Towns. Yeah, you're just afraid to do it alone. You know, we're going to talk about that, you know, because we're talking about vibrations. And let me break it down. And everybody has their own definition. Everybody has their own thing about vibrations, energy, chakras. All these words are being thrown around. And I'm seeing people confused and being misled. I'm seeing people who are in a place today, are searching. And we can throw words around and don't even have a clue in what is original meanings and stuff were. Now, I'm not here to claim I know everything at all. Believe me, I don't know a lot of things. I know a lot of things, but a lot of things I don't know. But when I'm watching some things unfold in our community, and then I'm watching these fads come and go, I wonder how many people understand what they're under when it comes to following something and it ain't really all what it is. Let's go into it. You noticed my picture, I had a little baby in my arms on the thumbnail that I used. That baby is a vibration. Matter of fact, everything around you is a vibration. There is no thing that does not move. I don't care, knocking on this table, this telephone, the bed, the TV, you, trees, anything that is created or on this earth is vibration. Everything constantly moves. Nothing sits still. To the naked eye, it seems like it just sits there. But if anybody knows anything about science, we will know with vibration when it comes to the atoms, because everything is made up of atoms. But we talk about vibration as though we're talking about an energy or a connectivity of energy that we have that we operate in. Or that we can connect with an energy outside of ourselves to someone else and think that, okay, if you're vibrating at a certain level, that means me and you connect and we must be this and that. Or if I don't understand what you're saying, either I could take an ego trip and I could say they're vibrating at a lower level because, you know, they're not at where I'm at. You know, they are down here and I'm up here. These are words that we throw around so we can feed our ego, so our heads can grow, and we think that we're something that we're really not. This is not even what vibration is about, if you really want to look at it. In the layman's terms of a vibration, okay, yes, we could say energy. Energy is vibration because energy moves. Energy definitely moves. Most definitely, it moves. And we have energy that moves slower than others, and some move more rapid than others. Yes, we can call that vibration. But what really is vibration? A movement of molecules that, or a frequency as people use. I saw a frequency come across the screen or whatever, you know. We tend to think that is that. But let me give you just another side of vibration that is very important to you and your future. Vibration is action. Okay? Let's think about this. Your actions is vibrations. Matter of fact, your five senses is vibrations. Your eyes, your ears, your smell, your mouth, and your touch, or your taste, if some would say. All of these, the words you're hearing me speak is coming through my so-called voice box that is creating a vibration because we were taught letters A, B, C, D, E, F. These are just a hit of a letter. Then when you add it all together, kat, and you say it quick, kat, and your ear catches that sound, the vibrations in your eardrum, it then creates the word that your brain already knows because you were taught. C-A-T, kat, means cat. The touch of something is a vibration. Matter of fact, vibration is communication. Vibration is communication. Action, okay. And I hope somebody's gonna get this. This is a gold nugget because I'm just gonna give you another side of what you believe. I'm not trying to take away from, I'm not trying to add to, okay? Because we are a people and we don't understand that what your actions are doing, you're creating a vibration which sends messages, not only internally, but externally. That's why I say, when you speak in this atmosphere, the vibration that hits this atmosphere does not just stop and falls to the ground. It hits the molecules in the air and it travels constant, nonstop. How do you think you come up with your ideas? How do you think you come up with thought? You can be minding your own business, eating your sandwich, and all of a sudden the thought comes and you be like, where the heck did that come from? There's billions of vibrations going on around us, actions. People speaking out and we're receiving it left and right. And if you're not careful, you can wind up receiving thoughts and go down a road following that. That's why the saying in the scrolls, right? Whether you want to say our Bible, whether you want to say our Quran, it sits there and it says, there is nothing new underneath the sun. There ain't nothing new that is on this earth that has not been. Now, we're not talking about things that you see on a tangible level. You know, well, there wasn't spaceships back in 5,000 years ago, airplanes and all that right there. Those are new, computers are new. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is a spiritual. Now, y'all got to hold on to your seats right here because I know some of y'all are probably getting a little bored and you got to get into the chat and do sidebar conversations and want to get into somebody else's gossip. But for those who wants to receive something and make a change in your life, let's talk about the vibration, chakras, and the energies in the most simplistic form because these are just words. For your life, the very actions you do, which you do has a reward or a punisher or consequence or judgment. These are words that have not been explained to you whether you was in any form of religion unless the person who is teaching understands this. Very few people I've come across, and I sit at the tables of many a people. Thank you, Gad Sano, for giving. I've sat at the feet of many master teachers. I've sat in the rooms of bishops and pastors. I've sat and broke bread with many of Islam teachers. I've sat and watched video of those who are acclaimed and just listening and learning from those people who have reached a level of understanding. And so I had to come to a place where I had to become a teacher. Now, to give you a backdrop of me, okay, and as many of y'all know, my teaching, my elementary teaching was Christianity. And I say elementary for the truth of the matter. Life was my master teacher. And very few people allow their lives to be the master teacher. Because before those who were before us in this world, before they had anything that was ever written in a book, they were the watchers and the listeners of the internal and the external, or as they would say, as above, so below. What you find outside of you, we say above, which you will also find in you. This is called vibrational awakening, all right? A vibrational awakening. What does that mean? That means that you realize that you yourself, that's inside of you, as well as those things that are outside of you, are equal in one. And that the actions and things that you do, what you say, what you do with your body, with your mind, with your words, will all have a judgment upon you. It's just a matter of fact. It was written into this atmosphere. Now, some say, God's law, Allah law, or whoever's law was written on tablets or in word. But I'm here to tell you, before it was written, it was already orchestrated and spoken into the atmosphere that there is a law that what you do shall be the judgment of you. What do we mean by that? Okay, let's just go to one of the things that we all know. What are laws? Laws are things that were already orchestrated and created that no man can put a patent on, no man can create, no man can do or expound on or take away from. For instance, let's just say the law of gravity. If you stand on top of a building, you jump off of it, that law that was written in the atmosphere, in the universe, you're going to fall. That is a law. Now, there are laws that you have to understand that when you speak, it will be the judgment of whatever it transpires for what you said. Why? It was written in the atmosphere. Before anything was written, it was spoken into existence. What's spoken mean? God created the earth. He spoke, let there be light. There was a vibration. You think it was the words, it was the vibration. That's what creativity to create is, vibration. And so by your actions, let me give you another example. How many of y'all ever got upset and you felt they say the blood boiling inside of you? You feel that rage, your head get warm. You feel the temperature rise. That's a vibration. That's actually an action. And guess what it does? It creates a chemical balance within you, a chemical reaction within your body that's causing a judgment upon you for you being in that state. And if you stay too long, it could be devastating. What I mean by that, your blood pressure increases. Your blood pressure will increase when you get at a state of rage, and it can cause a whole lot of stress. Now, we know the chemistry that happens within you when stress falls upon you can be detrimental to your body. Now, where am I going with this? I'm going with this because I want y'all to understand that this vibration, this energy, these chakras, those frequencies that people are talking about don't understand that in your life, by the actions we're doing, which are all vibrations, your sight, your smell, your mouth, or your taste, your hearing, all right, and your touch, all play an important part on the so-called outcome of your life. Let me give you another example. And I'm gonna keep it on me because I know some people get upset when I put them in an example. I'm gonna say for me, all right? I'm married, okay? I have a wife. I made a vibrational promise to my wife that I would be faithful to her. Now, I spoke that into the atmosphere, and inside of me was a chemical reaction, a chemistry reaction, a spiritual reaction that locked and loaded and created. Check this out, y'all. You created a law within yourself that if you break it, there's a judgment that's going to come, a chemistry or a chemical reaction that will happen. Let me give you an example, and I'm going to go back to what I'm saying about me and just using me as an example. I've never cheated on my wife, never cheated on my ex-wife either. In the Bible, if you go to Genesis, it states that when man bit from the tree of good and evil, it said, whoa, man become like us. He now is like us. Okay? There was an awakening that happened because of what was told not to do, and one agreed to not to do, go bite off the tree of good and evil, or tree of knowledge, that there was something that transformed that individual. There was an awakening that happened. No different, back to me now. I go out here and sleep with a woman, okay, and break the very law that I created for myself. There is a chemistry reaction that happens to me because off of the actions that I did or the judgment that comes back on me. Y'all ever know people when they go out and they do things and you wonder, all these people around you, right? And people are doing all these different things. And you see, one of the sayings is, why does bad happen to the good people? And I got that answer. I got that answer some years ago. Who says they were good? Because no man knows what goes on behind the four walls or the doors of a person where they live, or within the heart of man. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows what laws will have been broken based off the actions that individuals have spoke, what they tasted, what they touched, heard, or saw. Nobody knows that. But I guarantee you, this vibration that people make, it seems like it's this connection with others and relating with others, that you have to be at these levels or, of a conscious state of mind. Okay, we'll say that's one side. But if you want to be able to be fruitful and have, as it says, a long life on the earth, it gave us some keys. The scrolls gave us some answers on how to have long life on earth. Or longer days, it says, to honor your mother and father. Now, that right there is key. If you honor your mother and your father, your days shall be long on earth. How is that? How is that? If you disrespect and dishonor your mother and father, let's just say they don't even deserve the respect. They violated you. They disobeyed. They just did away with you. But how is it that the key? The reason is because the fact of it is that you are from them. You're reigning back. Actually, from out of them came you. Another vibration. Hence, the thumbnail I put for the baby I was holding is another vibration. And okay, let's remove the word vibration because y'all like words like, oh, this is a descendant of the ancestors. This is the new one that has taken on the spirit of the ancestors and is going to walk forward. If we don't get to a place to understand that our actions play a huge part in the outcome of our life, we can sit here and talk about vibrations all day long. Because there again, vibrations are actions. Vibration is a spirit. People say low vibration. People say you're low vibration if you're evil, you're mean, you're bad, and you're in high vibration as you become lovable and you're kind and you become aware of yourself and around, and you're functioning at a higher level of a vibration. Okay, I'm gonna roll with that. But and I know there are areas in our life we can roll high, and there's areas we can roll low. The question of it is where do you remain most of the time? Because this is life. I can hit all cylinders on high vibration, loving and kind, until somebody crosses me the wrong way. And then my vibration will hit low. Isn't that true? Come on, family. Come on. Somebody amen that or amen ra that. Because all it means, amen means nothing more than right, true. That's right. I see a truth. Now, most definitely. And we doing all these things against each other, doing all these things against our own selves, and we wondering why we keep falling into the pit of hell and cannot get out. These are writings from, look, I don't like to say Bible. I really don't. Because this was nothing. I think it was what man did was found old scrolls, decided to conglomerate it together to create a book, to call it the infallible word of God, and locked it up between Genesis and Revelations. And you think that you can contain the creator in 66 books? Or you think you can contain the creator in the Quran? Or in the writings of Buddha? Or in the Hinduism, their writings? Or the 1,000 of others that are out there? You can't. Matter of fact, thank goodness for our so-called brothers and sisters back in the day who were able to listen and write and become nothing more than just a messenger to a people, to be able to recognize that this is what I have encountered within, and this is what I was doing. And I found this to be fruitful. And if you practice this and build some, and there's some principles associated with it and build off of it, you will find your life, if you emulate these principles and practices, to be very fruitful for you. Now, not everything that I have come to study, read, or partake in, that I'm not at that place to say that and I don't like to use the words agree, but I come to a place of understanding. But I say to you, you are your Quran and you are your Bible. You are your book. You are your scripture. Matter of fact, you are a book in the book. You are the so-called diary that is written for your descendants to look upon to see how they even were able to make it to where they are today in their beliefs, in their views, and their upright standing, and their morals. Where do we get this from? Yo, here's a diary right here of old uncle, auntie, whoever, great, whoever. Because that vibration continued on until somebody breaks it. Let me say this, family. I'm all over on YouTube when I look at people and listen to people. And I'm going to tell you, we live in a sad day today. There are so many people out here who can read one paragraph, do one little half-ass research, and call themselves a scholar. I have never in my life seen young folk who consider to be wise. When I used to be affiliated within the church, it blew my mind how you could put a young boy behind a pulpit and preach messages and say that he was anointed by God, that he's going to be a preacher, and yet he ain't even walked out anything of life yet, to go through a grind and the temptations of life to prove that he is supposed to be. We have put so many people in positions today who ain't even qualified. And all it took was a piece of paper with a stamp on it, and we amened it. And we run around approving them and then putting them up on pedestals, and look at our lives. While they live in the lavish lives, they're living on high in their big houses, mansions, and flying around in their big jets and their cars. Majority of their followers are broken, poor, and broke and disgusted, and busted up. Broke, busted, and disgusted, as they say. Ain't got no power of spirituality in them for them to stand up on their own 2 feet to be able to become the God they were called. Off of the teachings of ignorance of those who have regurgitated from their previous pastor, bishops, and ministers, and all them from previous from the slave master's hand, and still passing on that same old message. I have never in my day seen so many people follow young-minded people. And when I say young-minded, it could be people in their 70s. I have never seen my people who are older than me walking around talking like the youth, acting like the youth, dressing like the youth. I have never in my life seen so many. And I'm like, where are the elders for the youth? Who's going to teach the youth? I had a woman correct me and try to say I disrespected my mother by saying I was an elder because she's still living. Now, I didn't have much response to her and all that right there. I mean, hey, it's whatever she believes, whatever she wants to believe. I know what an elder is. Elder is not necessarily on the age side of the house. Yes, it is, because it is a validation of how long you've been walking. And yet the other side of the validation is, do you have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding? Because there's those who have the age don't even have none of that. I still seeing men walking around with their pants dragging, heads cocked to the side, talking the slang and all that right there. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, what are they saying though? Are they making any sense? Do they have any wisdoms, knowledge, and understanding? And we gravitate to those people and follow them. And then we wonder why we're bamboozled, why we've been scammed, why we've been taken advantage of. If you have to rely on an individual to be able to speak and reveal your future, or why you are stuck in a situation and they know the answer and you yourself don't know the answer, you have a lot of things coming along. There is no one who should master you except for you being the master. If you're following the master. Now, it takes some teaching, but the problem of it is a lot of the teachers out here, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. And I'm watching our family just nosedive. We're nosediving. I'm sitting here in Africa and I'm listening to these pastors regurgitating and emulating pastors from America. Everybody getting up in the morning, putting on their clothing, looking all good, walking to church, or doing their prayers, going to their mosque, and they come out and everything and will look you dead in your eye and wouldn't have a care in the world. I've hit so many questions to those who profess to be in the religions or in the spiritualities that they are in, and 90-something% of them don't even know it. How can you call yourself to be something and you walk around with the book in your hand, you know nothing of it? How can you claim that you're going to be part of something And you, only thing you do is go listen what somebody's going to tell you, and you believe it for what it is. And we wonder why we're stuck in where we are, still hating on each other, can't unite. Everybody talk about family's dysfunctional, everything's in chaos, and we act like we all together and know it. Yes, yes, Essie. There's a lot of hypocrites out here, a lot of hypocrites, and they don't even know they're hypocrites. I'm not bashing on anybody. I'm trying to bring an awareness so that only that you, for yourself, because I don't want to focus on anybody else. And let's not do that. I remember the days, when I go into church and all right there and the pastor's talking and everything, and you be like, yep, I know people like that, and won't even look within yourself. To measure yourself, put the light on. That's the Spirit of God. It's the lamp to reveal those dirty corners within you, so that you can be able to come out of the area that you are in. Because we got a whole lot of mess within us. The vibration, our actions. I've seen it time and time again. I'm telling you, I'm far from perfect. And you know what? I'm a work in progress, as they say, but I'm gonna sit here and tell you this right here. Yes, I judge myself. And I allow people to judge me. Not this generation today. You can't judge me. This is what people say. You can't judge me. It says in the Bible, you shall not judge. See, you don't even know the Bible. The Bible says, yes, you should rightfully judge. Rightfully judge the people. If that joker's dressed putting on a dress and put makeup on and put a wig on his head and he said he's a woman, dude, I'm telling you, you are a man. You ain't gonna fool me because you believe you a woman. No, you fooling yourself. I'ma rightfully judge you. You are of the male species. You might not even call you a man. You are of the male species and you need to come out of that mess. Now, I ain't trying to beat up on those in the LGBTs and all that right there, but I'm just talking about many people carry on the mask and believe and look in the mirror and believe they something that they not. And we can sit around and talk about vibrations. Because of our actions. That vibration is an action. That means movement. And it operates in the 5 senses that we have. Isn't this truth? And if it doesn't vibrate with you, some people are going to say, this doesn't vibrate with me, what I'm saying. Well, go ahead and go on. I mean, because you know what? This ain't for everybody. This is only for those who are wanting to develop themselves beyond them where they are today. Because we can sit here and we can throw up praises and all that to the Most High, to Allah and all that. We can do our daily prayers and we can do our fasting and we can do all these things that we so-called follow everybody's doing, and then wonder why we still don't have a peaceful spirit, a peaceful heart. Why is it that on the physical level that I can't even get out of the hole that I'm in? I've been doing the right things that the pastor been telling me. I've been tithing. I've been going to church. I've been reading the Bible. Why can't I seem to get past this thing? I've been in my Quran. I've been doing all those disciplines and practices that they say I'm supposed to do. Why is it that it seems that I'm still stuck? The saying is, you be the judge, because if you rightfully judge yourself, you're going to find the truth. Because our actions, what we do, we're so blind to our actions. Let me give you an example, another example. I used to cut hair in the hood, east east of DC, Washington DC, right, east side, and it was southeast DC. On Stanton Road and Alabama and Stanton Road. Used to be in the hood. And the people I used to work for swore they were Christians, devout Christians, and oh, bless the Lord and all that right there. And they swore they were devout Christians. Now, being in the hood, in the barbershops, you always got the brother man who come in with the 5-finger discount. Y'all know who he is. He got anything that you want. You need whatever you want, he can get it for you. He'll walk in with a backpack. He'll pull out shampoo and shaving equipment and clippers and anything that you want. He gonna come back and he gonna have it for you. And people partake on it and they take it because they want to get that discount, and yet they don't even know that the actions that they're doing. All right. I'm back. So I'm getting these phone calls, y'all. People are calling me. So I know that some people think it's the internet, Yeah, the internet acts up too. I mean, it's funny out here, no matter where I go. But let me get back on my thought right here for those who are anxiously waiting on this right here. Watching and observing, I'm going to tell y'all, have done me a huge success in my life. Like I said before, I walked down the road in Christianity. I went to college for biblical studies and theology at a late age, at like the age 30. That I decided that this was a walk that I wanted to be in, but yet it was also something I found that I wanted to pass that message to other people. So I became a minister and I wanted to preach, and then eventually I had opportunities to become a pastor. And at that time of being two opportunities came my way of being that pastor, I was redirected in a different direction, redirected. And so I chose to go on a different path. And this different path that I went on was the best move I had ever done in my life. One, there was fear associated with it because it was already in my mind that, if you leave the church and all that stuff there, you're going to hell. If you're not giving your tithes, you're going to hell. Now, I didn't believe that at the very end when I decided to go direct, because I had a total different understanding. And I was freeing people from this mindset of what they were being misguided. But so y'all can understand what I'm saying is that I became a watcher. And what I mean by that, I took off on a sabbatical, y'all. I left everything. I went on a journey, which very few people will do. I disconnected myself with my family, and I was ghost. Guess where I went? I went to Maui, Hawaii. And on the side of that island was a place I thought was like paradise. It was in the middle of like a jungle area, but they had right there on the sea, you could walk through it, and there was the sea where you'd walk all the way down the mountain. But also had a waterfall there, but it was a place where I rested spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I walked in silence. Not with words, but inside spiritually. And I began to observe everything within me and outside of me. I began to observe the vibration in me. I began to become the watcher of what was going on within me. You know how it is. Come on, when you have these feelings rise up, these emotions rise up, all of these things start to rise up. If you become in tune with yourself, you're able to watch it and you're able to control it. For those who don't, it controls you. See, I went on practices of silencing the mind, where you can sit still and listen and will hear everything around you, and you won't have one thought. That was one of the hardest practices that I had to come across. Okay, all right. I am back. All right. So I'm getting calls, so I had to tell the person real quick that I'm on a live. This right here. This is something right here I gotta give to my folks, because you know what? We all need a little something to add on and put on our plate, because I'm telling y'all, we have been misguided. And I'm not saying that I'm the one who has the only answers. Many got the answers. Not answers. But I'm only sharing with you what I found through what was dropped in my spirit, that I found to be truth, and I found validation in it by witnesses. Not walking out here creating my own rules and trying to create followers and all that, but no. When you run across those, if you want to say vibrations, that people who actually was on the same journey that you were in your past as your travel, and you see that what their experience was actually connecting with yours, was a validation to say, wow, okay, I'm not playing games with my mind. I'm not trying to fool myself. I see that I am in that place to where I'm finding folks that have sacrificed their lives to go off on a sabbatical, to do all the journey, not just on the exterior, but on the interior. Very painful to take a journey within, to allow the spirit of the Creator to illuminate all the dirty corners of your life. That's hard. And then for you to be able to carve your teeth, I call it carving your teeth, under the teachings, under a discipline, to where it begins to perfect you. To where your mind, your body, your spirit begins to cry out because it don't want to do it. And I sit back here and I watch these people, these young ones, who I'm watching elders follow, claiming there's something that they ain't even walked out a chapter 1 of their life, can't even get past it, still dealing with some past pains. Maximilian, hey, bro, appreciate you for your giving. Good morning, my brother, from another mother. Hey, man, I told an African man the other day, he said that. I said, no, we from the same mother, Mother Africa. She birthed us all. And so, you know, I'm watching this unfold because this YouTube thing is getting out of hand, in a sense that where people want to be entertained, or people want to follow, people trying to get answers. YouTube is great. I don't look at YouTube as an evil source. You can find so much information on YouTube. Man, I've done a whole lot of research and fixing things around the house, or learning some things and buying gadgets and learning how to do all that. That stuff is great. But what I'm finding is that because of the elders that we have that are few, there are the youth that are acting as though that they are the ones who've walked out chapters of life and acting like they got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and they don't. And we're following them. How can you allow somebody to speak over you, or speak into you, or share something with you, and yet they don't have the resume to even show they're even qualified to do it? That's like somebody trying to counsel you about children and they ain't got kids themselves. That's like somebody who's trying to have a YouTube about going to Africa and they ain't stepped a foot in Africa, or want to talk about Africa and ain't stepped a foot in it. And we do this. And we don't check people when they need to be checked. People have all these topics they're talking about. And I'm like, how does that even qualify you? Please show me your resume. We need to start checking some folks. We need it. We really do. Because there's people out here who are using titles and they're using labels and identifying themselves with things. They're not even qualified. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a degree, because that damn piece of paper does not mean anything. That just means you have some head knowledge out of a book. We're talking about a life experience of sacrificing yourself in a practice and principles that you could say for those that this thing right here is profitable. Because we're talking about vibrations in action. Vibration is a spirit. How is your spirit? How do you vibrate? How is your vibration? How is your actions? What do you watch to change the vibration? What do you listen to change that vibration in you? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you touch that will change the tomorrows of your day? Because we do know drugs is a big thing. You can sniff that in your nose. You can shoot it in your arm. You can smoke it. You can do anything with a drug. Heck, there's people put acid in their eyes. You know, there's people I've seen drugs in all different parts of their bodies, trying to get the quick high. But what vibration? What vibration are you? And a lot of people, they go to drugs or use alcohols and other substances because they want to experience something beyond them what really is. Think about that. Everything that you do that gets them the endorphins rolling in your brain to make you feel good is nothing more than you trying to bring yourself to a higher elevation of a fantasy or vibration of a feeling or whatever. That's all you're seeking. And the hardest thing for anybody to do it is soberly. But when you find that you could do it soberly and reach that, man. When I listen to people who have tried various drugs, and they try to describe, that euphoria and all that right there, and I'm like, I experienced that. I experienced that. It's amazing. If one will sit down in life and quiet themselves, become the watcher, dive within themselves, be the spirit of light, to look and find the dirty corners, cleanse themselves up a little, meaning to filter themselves, meaning that you know what, you can cut back on some pollutions that you put in your body. You will be amazed at the things that you will be experiencing. I used to scoff at the very few people I came across who talked about out-of-body experience until I experienced it twice. And that ain't no joke, and I would not lie to you. I never thought that thing ever existed. Until when I was sitting in a period of time, quiet, and allowing just the spirit of the creator just to flow stuff through me. I'm talking my eyes were open. I'm talking about my ears became so, you talking about the hearing and the seeing, that it's just, something you can't describe. I cannot describe it. The only thing I could do is just to motivate and encourage people to watch your actions through your 5 senses and to look within. All answers are within because they're also without. And so this vibration topic that I have, it was only because of the fact that I know this is a word going around and people starting to use these faddish words, vibrations and frequencies and energies and chakras and all these things. And these were practices and principles and things that had come from out of the African spirituality. The Europeans went around and took it and pimped it. This is facts right here. These have been around for tens of thousands of years. It's just that when ages change, right? An age change, a generation, or an age could be the illumination in your mind opened up, and now you have a new world. Why? Your perception's different. Now the old's passed away and the new. That right there is called the burial and the resurrection. That's where the so-called Jesus is going to return, that they say is supposed to come physically. It's when the Spirit of God drops in, descends. Before I ascend, I descend. Then I ascend. I pull, I descend, I take out, and I bring in new. That right there is all in what those scrolls are talking about. So when you awaken, because people want to talk about that word, I'm woke. The day you become woke is the day you're asleep. The day you think you're woke is the day you're asleep. Why? There ain't a person on this earth who totality will become woke. You can become woke in certain areas and you're sleeping on other areas. You will never reach a higher consciousness to where it's the end of the road. Life is infinite. It never ends. It's a cycle. And I had to understand this. And so this vibration thing, you know, it doesn't ever end. It's a frequency that's been around since the beginning of time, and it's going to continue to be frequencies in you. And your actions will dictate your tomorrows. Because in your actions is a judgment. What scrolls talk about, the judgment of God. The judgment of God was written in this atmosphere. You decide to cross it, there are consequences. Like jumping off a tall building and want to defy the law of gravity is no different than defying the laws that have been put in this universe that you will partake in, and it will play a part with you or against you. That's just the laws of the land. Now we know there's the rabbis and the preachers and the ministers and the pastors and the bishops and the cardinals and all these people here got their own words, and these, you know, shamans and all these people with these titles got their own definition, terminology, and trying to describe to you what is. And hey, more power to them, because, you know, hey, if it's the heart's done in the right place, you know, you can't. But I will say that most wants to gain a following for the sake of their selfish needs and greeds. I ain't looking for anybody to follow me. I want people to follow the Creator. I'm just a pointer. That's all I am. No different than going black to Africa. I've been given this assignment to go ahead and share with people. You need to come back to the motherland. You need to come back. That's the message I've heard in my spirit. You need to come back. Do you know how I feel? My wife went back to America. She's probably watching this live right now. She chose to go back to America. And I share with my wife before we got married, when the Creator tells me to go left, I'm wondering if you're going to go left with me, or if you go right. But I understand she has obligations. I love my wife. That's my wife. Hey, that's my best friend. But she's her own person too. And she's got to make for herself and her decisions what she wants to make. Because she does have some obligations she has to take care of. Well, you know, you don't have to do nothing in life. She chooses to take care of. So my thing is this right here, is that when I'm hearing something, I have to move on it. Now, does that usurp hers of what she hears that she must make a move on? I'm not going to say that, but then if we become one, just like we people should become one, which direction do we go? Because my assignment is to have a people to come back to the motherland. Not necessarily to live, but to visit. Because the visitation is typically what will cause you to be interested in the so-called living. Because there again, once you get a taste of freedom, it's hard to give up. That's why me and my wife had a long talk. I can't go back to America. But she hasn't experienced what I experienced in my life. So she's comfortable in that. But now for you, you have to make your same decisions too. Now, people are talking about America falling, okay? America, Babylon is going to fall. Y'all going to get caught up in America or in these other Western worlds. When they fall, you're going to get caught up in it and you're going to be lost. These people here, they're saying something. But let me share something with you. America fell hundreds of years ago. If you want to get stuck on the tangible things of what you see with your naked eye instead of the spiritual thing, then you are going to be lost. Do you think LGBT, the corrupt of that, are we watching our youth go down by? I mean, that's just the LGBT mother, father of the world is America. No moral values, no daggone sense of integrity, the high corruption, the injustices, the prejudice, the biases, the evilness that they do against other countries, going in, intruding on other governments, killing other leaders, all these various things. You know, America's fell long time ago. But if you want to be stuck on money, you're lost. I've met so many people who think that the vibration of America, the vibe, hey, America's got the vibe. Do you know Kenya here, I find, loves America more than I've seen any other African country that I've been to. These people adore America. Everywhere I'm looking at on these buses and everything, they got all the rap artists, they got all the music, some of their clubs, I'm told, it's all the hip hop, it's all about the Western world. I feel like I'm really in the Western world here in Kenya. In the city, I'm talking about Nairobi. I'm not talking about the outskirts, okay? So I can't say all of Kenya, so I don't want to generalize. But they love the Western world over here more than any other country that I've been to in America. I mean, in Africa. So America's already fell spiritually. That's what life is about, family. The spirit of a man. It ain't about your physical. What you acquire, what you achieve, what you reached and all that right there. See, that right there, that right there is when you're lost. When your eyes are open spiritually, all things are added to you. You don't even need to struggle no more. All things are possible to you now, because now you know how to approach things in a rightful way, in a spiritual light of the Creator, to where now you know what to stay away from, what things to do. What do I mean by that? You won't get yourself involved in these corrupt type of businesses and things that people do. You won't even be affiliated with it. That's why I don't want to be affiliated with America. Now, somebody going to say, well, you're in places too where men are just as corrupt. That's absolutely true. Man is corrupt everywhere you go. It's just America flaunts hers. America's pride. America's prideful of what it likes and what it does. I've never seen so many prideful people who can tell you that all the sins that they do. Okay, now what does sin mean? Because people get afraid. Oh, he's preaching now. Sin means nothing more than something that has kept you from reaching your full potential spiritually. Sin is when you're involved in something that keeps you from rising. You're caught in it. That's all sin means. All right, if you want to be a drug addict, okay, I'll tell you this right, it's going to steal you from reaching your full potential. If you're going to be a sex addict, or you want to be an alcoholic, if you want to be a liar, a thief, a stealer, a thiever, whatever it may be, backbiter, mouthbiter, gossiper, whatever it might be, these keep you from being the fullness of what you were created to be. That's what sin means. Not reaching your full potential. That's all it means. Now, of course, we've been told differently and made it seem differently. Vibration. This is what vibration means. Your actions. Your actions is a vibration. Let me give you an example. Another example. Ladies, I'm gonna talk with y'all first, all right? Ladies, get themselves together. Girl, we gonna go out tonight. Yeah, you know, we gonna boom, boom, you know, go out here, have fun, you know. Yeah, you know, hey, I'm gonna get me a man tonight. Yeah, me too, you know, blah, blah, squirt, squirt. Yeah, you know, let me put it down a little bit, you know. Let me raise it up a little bit, because I want to go out here and I'm gonna look sexy tonight, yes, and I'm gonna get me a man. Your actions create a vibration and energy, and it sends a message to those type of guys who are looking for that type of woman that which then you're going to connect with, and then all of a sudden you'll be pissed off at the end of the night. Or typically men are going to last about 90 days. I'll tell you, I had to research and do a study on myself and my friends. How long do we actually get tired of women after we get it and split it? We fall in about 90 days, ready to move on to the next one. Gets boring, done that, did that, boom, bam, gone. Some last longer. Some keep you on the side as just another whatever. But because of your actions, your vibration, you drew in the very thing that you wanted to get by whatever it was you was trying. You went on a fishing trip and you reeled in you a big one. And then when you reeled it in and you didn't like it, you threw it back out. And then you complained about the fish you caught. This is vibration. Men, let me get on the men now, because I don't want people to say, oh, you're just beating up women. No, men, man, I'm getting myself together. I'm going out tonight, man. I'm going to get me one of them women out there, this and that. So you go out there, and you're looking. See, I remember back in the days, because I studied women. I knew what type of woman a woman was when I walked in the door, and I would study them. And I studied women so well, I knew what to say in order to get those digits. I sometimes knew what to say in order to get them that night. It was difficult back in the days in the 80s, early 90s, because sisters, they had a sense of, respect for themselves. But what I'm saying is for the men, when you go out there and you go and you've gone on the fishing hunt and you pull in that same vibration because your motives were off, your intentions were off, and you went and fished and caught one and then was upset because she was one that you thought was but wasn't, and you got stuck with a bitter one, and then she caused your life a living hell. And then you want to call them bees and hoes. This is what we do. And then all of a sudden now, we got two vibrations, opposing polars, opposing, that are now acting with intent of trying to disguise, fool, not be honest, and be have ill intentions, and then all of a sudden join together, and it causes this friction, vibration, right? And now all of a sudden emotions are raised up, and all of a sudden now these actions spew out anger, hate, bitterness, resentment, vibrations. And your vibration brought in what you were displaying. But we can run around here and we can use these words because we want to act like we woke. I'm woke. I'm conscious. I'm vibrating. I'm here. I'm there. He who is humble. He who is humble is one who finds the treasure. Why? Because he whose head is on high, full of pride, overlooks the things that seem base. The very thing you're looking for may not come shiny. It may be the thing you got to put the work in it in order for it to become that treasure. It's like, me going into a house, right, looking for property. And, you're like, man, this place, man, it's run down, this and that. And, I don't want to buy this property. But then, there are those who walk in and be like, oh, I see this joker here is a jewel. Yes. You could overlook the spot, blemishes, and the wrinkles in it. You can overlook that because you're looking deep into. Why? Because you're not physically using your eye, you're using your spirit to be able to see beyond than what it is actually showing you, and you see the potential in it. This is what we should do with each other. The problem of it is that we don't listen. Because hearing is a vibration, the eardrum. It picks up the waves, the vibrations. This voice box is vibrating. It's vibrating, y'all. And then it hits this atmosphere and it comes across this ear, and that eardrum goes whoop, and it interprets based upon sending the message to the brain. It's all vibrations. And these vibrations is what make us and break us. That's why when I was growing up, They used to say a man who speaks sweet notes in a woman's ear, he would know how to pull her. See, if you know what to say because of the vibrations of where she stands, and when it matches with it, bam, boom, you got her. But you got to know how to study it. So when you think on an evil sense of that mindset, let's use it for the positive sense of what we're doing now. I can use my mouth, my words in a positive sense and speak that vibration into a situation, into to a person, whether it's a business deal, whether it's a whatever. It could be many a thing that you could speak into. It don't even have to be the words. It can be a gentle hand up, helping somebody up. It could be a hug. Because, you know, people know fake hugs. People know people when they're like, you know, because the body is a messenger. It's vibration. You know when somebody stiffs up on you, when you're trying to hug them. You know when you really receive a loving hug, you know it. Because that energy, vibration that we use, energy and all that, it's going to tell us. This is what we now have to utilize on the positive side to say, you know what? Okay, I'm getting this thing. I can take this now because the power has been given me to utilize my 5 senses in a positive vibrational energy to be able to get what I want. Now, hold up for a second, because now people are going to go to the tangibles. Is to get what I want. What is more important to you? Money or peace of mind? What is more important to you? A house or a content heart? What is more important to you? Your jewelry, your cars, or is a sound mind? What's more important to you? Being the big CEO, you're fighting to get into that position, or sleeping a nice, peaceful night, a full night's rest? What's more important? Because we're talking about having what you want on the spiritual side or having what you want on the tangible side. Because there's many people, and you know it, and you know for yourself because I know it. The peaceful mind, the mind at rest, without fret, without, anguish, without bitterness, without anger. Just a peaceful mind that you can just sit back and say, you can't put a price tag on it. You can't put a dollar amount on that. I spoke to a young lady yesterday, the hotel I was staying at. I ain't gonna reveal her name and I ain't gonna reveal the hotel, but I was talking to her. And come to find out, she was the one who was asking me, how am I let my family go? And I'm staying here in Africa and stuff. But we started having a conversation. And we got on the topic of her suffering behind a breakup of a relationship that happened a year ago. Now listen to this. In her own mouth, she said it was a toxic relationship. And she said this right here. She said, all I'm doing is eating, and look at me. I'm just overweight, and I just, it's hard though. It's hard. It's hard to let go. It's hard. I said, it is hard because you said it. Because you'd rather wallow in the mud in that, worrying about a toxic relationship, than that you should be able to have a peaceful mind. You want to have a peaceful heart, a spirit, and you eating yourself to overweight and bad health. Because you can accept the fact of the breakup. So I told her this right here, family. I said, why can't you accept the fact that that was a chapter of your life that needed to be in order to build you to where you need to be? Why is it out of your own mouth you say it was toxic and you are fretting over it? Can't think straight, can't sleep well, eating all the time, depressed, all because of your actions, your vibration. Your actions that you are doing is killing you. The energy that you're putting into a dead situation and you have no energy to do anything else. This is what we do. But he or she who decides that the spiritual realm or the spiritual side of who you are is greater than the natural side, and you can let that stuff go, that is now when you really are vibrating. You know, my wife, I know she's probably watching, you know, I'm gonna make fun of her though, you know, my wife, you know, she's a woman with her clothes and everything. Most women are with their clothes and, you know, gotta have those clothes. And my wife will be caught dead being in a picture with the same outfit. Now me, y'all probably see me wear this shirt and other shirts and stuff probably 100 times since I've been gone. Why? Because I travel lightly. I don't care what nobody think. But she learned in all this traveling, lugging that luggage around was heavy at times. Because when I got my film equipment, my baggage, and then I got my suitcase with my clothes, then I got a backpack with some other stuff in there with my equipment, I can't help my wife. I'm sorry, love, you got to, you know, because there ain't nobody out here where we are helping you move the baggage. And she said she learned a lesson. She's not going to be traveling with no 2 bags anymore. Stuff ain't important now. Why? It wore her down mentally, physically, and spiritually to be carrying stuff that don't even make a hill of beans. And every day you're going through these suitcases trying to find outfits and all these clothes and then separating and putting together and all that right there. And oh, it's just, you know, that's mind-boggling. Now, which one would you rather have? The peaceful mind, or would you rather be bogged down and still carry along and struggling with these luggages and stuff like that? I got something for y'all right here just to even help you out, because I'm gonna keep it on me, because my wife ain't gonna like me talking about her situation. When I was going through my divorce, okay, and it was, how many years ago was that? Goodness, 9 years ago, wow. You know, I worked my butt off, y'all. And I believed that of some situations, I believed at the end of the marriage of what I put in, I had deserved more than half. Now, I ain't gonna talk about my ex and all that right there, with respect to her as well as my daughters who watch my videos every now and then. But here's what it is though. She disagreed with what I thought that my portion was rightfully should have been. I walked around with rocks in my jaw for 2 weeks, angry. I couldn't function. Couldn't run my business, and I was up here, I'm salty as a dog and angry because I'm like, how dare she? How does she think she deserves half? And when I put this in and done that and all these things I was saying. 2 weeks went by and I just got so wore out and tired. I sat in my chair and all I heard was, what is it gonna cost you for a peace of mind? That's exactly what I heard. When I heard that, I got on that daggone phone and I called her up and say, you can have your half. And when I thought about it, I was like, what are you tripping off of? You got the wit to make even more, if that's what you want to do. But guess what I did? I retired. I retired because what I found out was the little that I had weighed me down less. And becoming a minimalist in my life, that meaning minimalist, I meant the things that I thought were so important, I gave up. Man, I gave a lot of stuff away. Yeah, to retire. I was retired. I was tired of being tired. But physically, I retired from work. And I found out that this is when I got into the real estate game, y'all. After my divorce is when I got in the real estate game. The little that I had, stuff, it weighed me down less, which freed this up more. Because when, you know, the scrolls say this right here, where much is given, much is required. So the more things you got, there's responsibilities you got. The more things you involved with, the more it's going to take of your time. The least amount that you have, you are so free to do whatever it is that you want because you're not bogged down by so much responsibilities. That's why my children, when they left home, I said, that's it, y'all. Y'all on your own. And when they would call with their issues, I said, no, 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 no. I will not bear and carry that cross of yours. You gotta carry your own cross. I'm not, no, you're gonna have to carry your own. That was what the 18 years of teaching was, to make sure that you were prepared, that you listened, and you knew how to handle matters when you were out there on your own. Now, that doesn't mean I still can't give you advice, but I'm not bearing the weight that you are carrying, what you brought on in your own life. No, that's your personal business. So the keys I found out after that, when I said, when I heard, I believe that came from the Creator. How much is it going to cost you for a peace of mind? Because you can't put a price tag for, you cannot put a price tag on for a peace of mind. You know how many people out here are dying because they lost their mind? They're in depression, anxiety, they're on pills, they're trying to function every day because all the weight and mental anguish they're carrying. That's a bad place to be, and I've been in it some years ago when I had to cross that path of almost suicide. For those who've heard my story, that's a very bad place to be. And I learned my lesson, family. This vibration, my actions, has everything to do with my tomorrows. That's what a vibration is actions. Because when you look at the atoms, and more than one atom, they call it molecules, join together, they begin to vibrate. That's what a microwave is, right? It starts to shake those atoms up, causes a friction, and it warms your food up. That's within the food. That vibration, that friction that's going on within you. When you start to lie and you know you ain't telling the truth, and what you're doing now is causing a chemical reaction within you, that something is dying within you. When you kill somebody, take somebody's life, it actually has taken a part of your life away from you, and you think you're getting away. When you cheat on your spouse and all that right there, and you done took a spirit part of vibe from what was connected as a one, and you severed it and put it onto another, you actually caused a chemical spiritual reaction within you that's going to have effect on your mind. It's going to have effect on your spirit, and you think you're getting away. That's why I told y'all, I don't play around with that. That's why I said, when I told y'all the other day, when my wife can go away from around the world, she can be gone. I know I am accountable to a greater than her. My faithfulness is not to her. My faithfulness is to the Creator. Because I already know what the law was written within this atmosphere that will judge me. And I ain't trying to deal with that, y'all. I've seen a good, strong men fall by the wayside by their actions, their vibration. I've watched them, men and women. Do you know the vibration? That's why I was on my thumbnail, the little baby. You pass on the vibration to your actions, to your own babies, your children. You can curse your own children's future by your actions. Do you not know that the baby, your child, is vibrating with you as you act and react to various things? They emulate and they take on the very habits that you do. Yeah, it's called a generational curse. You have now passed down your bad actions onto your kids, and now they doing the same thing. That's why I had to go back to my kids and say, oh, hold up. Yo, I was not perfect in raising y'all. I gotta share some things with y'all. Look, I need to sit y'all down. Because some things the way I raised y'all and my thinking back then was way off cuff. I've evolved to some places that I need to tell y'all. Number one, I'm sorry. I'm sorry from some of my behaviors that I thought I was doing right. I was doing wrong. I'm gonna have to tell y'all right here because I don't want y'all acting the way I was acting. I don't want you to do and behave the way I was doing. That's gonna mess y'all up. Who would want to see their children go through the same issues that you went through based off of some issues or problems or actions that you were doing? And your children gonna turn around and do the same. It's scary when you watch your kids and you be like, dang, they got that from me. They sound just like me. That's scary. And you be like, oh, time out, hold on, nah. Yo, I know you got that from me. Come on, let's sit down. I know there's a different approach with this. This is a different, let me show you something, okay? Because your daddy now is at a different place, okay? I don't want to see my kids walk through life now in that struggle and cause because of their mouth, because of their actions, is going to ruin things for them. Nah, can't do it. So when we're thinking about family, the vibration, the energy, the frequencies, this is all on your actions. That's what it means. It's all on you. How are you vibrating? How are you acting? You know, guys always say women are so emotional. What? Do you know happiness is an emotion? Anger is an emotion. Every action is an emotion. And so we men are very emotional. Very emotional. So the question of it is that how do you now control or how do you utilize the action to benefit off of? And the only thing I can tell y'all is this right here, is sit still and become the watcher. Watch within and watch without. When I used to live in Nashville, Tennessee, right downtown, where my condo that I have, I used to walk outside and just walk and just observe all the tourists who were coming into town. And I would just study, I'd be watching them and their behaviors. And then I would just be, allowing it to speak to me. And then sometimes I'll go to park and sit down and watch the birds and let the birds speak to me. The trees speak to me. I remember I used to cut my grass and then I would get up down there and pick the weeds, and all of a sudden all of this message was, yeah, these weeds are just like, caught into all this grass like how people are. These were like the evil ones. All these messages would come in with all these different things to be able to carve or shape and to put together my mind to be able to see things more clearly and how this life really is. I've had bumper stickers, billboards talk to me. Had nothing to do with what it was saying. My children would tell you this right here. Every day they couldn't stand watching movies with me. I said, okay, all right, you got to take off the entertainment eye and now seek out what the message is going to minister to you. Because, yeah, you can watch a movie all day long, but how do you apply that to you? And what is it ministering to you? That's why that movie, when I said Get Out, people thought it was about just white folk going to their house. It could be talking on larger scales to get out of the country. I'm not saying that's the message for everyone. I'm saying that we have to be in tune and in a spiritual spirit of discernment to be able to know the things that are presented to us, how to take it and channel it and use it for our benefit. Because if not, you're haphazardly walking around life ignoring the very things that's trying to guide you along. You know, that's what I shared with Serenity. You know, this is what these kids do. She walked around most of the trip like this. And I said at the very end, I wonder how much of the trip actually you was able to absorb, and to be able to use it as a means of experience. I wonder. Because caught into all this right here, texting, social media, you've watched life go by and you was caught in other people's lives. You were caught into everybody just chip-a-chat and all that right there. And you missed the very thing that was your school teacher. And that right there is everything around us and everything in us. Have I visited any churches in Africa? No, I haven't. Seen them. I haven't visited any. I can't even find myself to go any. I can't. And I just leave it at bay because I believe each person is on their road, their journey, and they would have to find where they then will either remain, depart, or go elsewhere in their journey of life. Like I said, hey, churches was my stepping stone. I graduated Christianity. I've evolved and gone beyond that. Yeah, we all engage in other people's lives. Hell, we're all engaged in your life right now. Is it my life? Because see now, we always thinking about, is it me talking to you? Is it my life? If you thinking it's me who's doing the talking and sharing an experience, then I think that maybe, I need to maybe clarify some stuff. Because yes, is this my life? My life? This is our life. We're human beings living in this experience, living this experience, as people say. I forget the saying they say, But we are here as a collective people, learning from one another, and yes, living through each other. We intermingle. Yes, what I was saying with Serenity is that she's caught into other people. There's a difference extrapolating and learning from one than just caught in the mix of something. That's why I said you can watch a movie and let it be an entertainment, but you can also use that movie as a meaning of a lesson, extrapolating all the messages in it to apply it into your life. You can do that. So that's what I'm saying. If you knew better, you'd be better. What was that you said? If you knew better, you'd do better. Yeah, if you knew better, you'd do better. How do you know what is better? How do you know what better is? Unless you have something to compare it to. And comparing usually is by another person. That's how you know. I mean, this ain't just me. This ain't me. I'm just sharing some messages and some life experiences. You can find that in the written word in some of the scholars who sat still and was writing. That blows my mind when I'm receiving stuff and I come across some things. I say, wow. I received that message, man, a year ago, a month ago, whatever. Wow. Yeah, there's nothing new underneath the sun. We all have the opportunity to learn from another and also from within or from the Creator. We all do. Yoruba Harris, Sunday is not the Sabbath. Of course it's not the Sabbath. You know what day is the Sabbath? Every day. Now, if there's Christians out there, what did Christ say? Or the Word say? Or God say? What did God say the Sabbath was? Christ said, I am the Sabbath. Because they wanted to trip him up, saying, well, we saw you, pulling out horses and all this stuff out of the holes, or if a man did this and he pull out this, or if he had to go eat and you're feeding people on the Sabbath, this and that, and he said, I am the Sabbath. He who believes in me will always worship on the Sabbath. But let me break that down to you. Because what is I am? Because people miss over that word. I am the Sabbath. What's he saying? What my brother said, that watching my life. See, the Spirit of Christ, if you will, because I don't want to go too far into Christ, but Christ is a spirit. I am is a spirit. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am. Then you find in the Old Testament, it said, Moses asked God, you want me to go to Egypt? Who shall I say sent me? For the children of Israel is going to ask me who sent me. What was the answer? The answer was, I am that I am sent you. The Lord. So when you talk about I am, yeah, I am the Sabbath, the Spirit of God. That's what the one thing I love about our Muslim brothers is that, they going to put their prayer time in. They're going to put their 5 times a day prayer time, the prayer time in. It's a discipline. It's a discipline that they do, that they have. And it's a practice that they do. But like I was saying, for Christianity, these are all life lessons. Do you know how many times I pray a day? Way more than 5 times a day. What? You know how many times I'm speaking into the bosom of the Creator? These are all footstones. These are all lessons to develop oneself, so that then now what was tangible ordered to be, now it becomes physical. You just become it now. You are now the Christ. I don't know how else to put it. Once you understand that you can become that one, and when you become the one, all things are open and possible to you. Why? Because we are all, this ain't my life, this is your life too. Do you think my life is any different than your life? Do you think that I'm experiencing something or went through something totally different than you have? Yeah, you could try to measure it. That's just like a man saying his pain is greater than somebody else's pain. Oh no, I broke my arm. That's the worst pain ever. No, but the other person say I broke my foot. That's the worst pain ever. No, it ain't. The arm is. You know what? Really? Isn't pain, and credit is based upon the person who's experiencing it, and they gonna swear it's the worst pain ever? It's the same thing. Pain is pain. We can argue all day long which one is worse. My life is my life? No, my life is your life, and your life is my life. We all are in this together as a human being. When one suffer, aren't we all supposed to suffer? When you see the little ones out there hungry and you feed them, do you not feed yourself? Have you not fed yourself? We're talking about the vibration. I'm going to stay on the course, y'all. This is all vibration. Actions. Actions. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Aren't these sayings that we say, but we don't even understand what we're saying? What I do to somebody else, I'm actually in turn doing to myself. When a man sits here and beats up a woman physically, he is beating himself up. The hatred he has for himself, he's beating himself up. When you misuse somebody, that's what you're doing. You're taking it out on yourself. When you violate somebody, you're violating yourself. It's real facts. That's real facts. Yeah, Okay, let me see right here. Yeah, Islam, you can pray all day long you want to. I'm not saying, I just said what I love, the discipline, that you stop what you have to do and you give homage and respect to Allah, an outward showing. That right there is a sacrifice that one does. So that's an outer sacrifice. You know, when I internally I pray and I give, you know, and I speak and all that throughout the day, that right there is a spiritual sacrifice, an acknowledgement of the moment in time that am giving acknowledgement and respect to. A physical is different than that. Because how many people want to stop what they're doing to go pray and give the physical sacrifice over and the acknowledgement and respect to the Creator? So yeah, no, I'm not saying that you just do at 5 and that's it. No, not at all. Pray without ceasing. No disconnecting from the Creator. Yeah. You know, we all, I don't care, you know, about any other race out here. I do know this right here in my life, in my passings, in my research, in my travels, in my studies. We Black people are more spiritual than the European all day long. When I've done my research on the Europeans, you cannot dig in their soil to find anything dealing with spirituality with a Creator. Nowhere can you find it. That's why when they came with the physical aspect of something, trying to turn us onto it. And we gave up the spiritual side of it, which is why we reap havoc to this day. Think about it. They gave you a Bible, kept you in a physical realm, got you praying to Jesus. And that blows my mind when the scriptures are clear. You always pray to the Creator. Well, the Europeans put in their Father. It's because they call their own Catholic headships Father. And they've put that in the Bible, Father, written in by the Europeans, King James in 1610, when he put together the manuscripts and brought in other scrolls to put together, which was at one point 81 books. That was 15 books was with the Apocrypha, and the other 66 that you know now today. They initially was 81 books taken out in the early 1700s, I think it was. And now it's 66 books today. Changed it up. They changed it. Now you tell me now, how is that the infallible word and all that right there when they interpret it as being a father? Because they call their own priests fathers and made God into a tangible man. And we gave our spirituality up for that and wonder why. Okay, let's put our sense on, family. Vibration, actions. Let's go talk about vibration. How is it that you can be doing so good and all of a sudden now you do so bad? Caught in slavery, you consider the worst, poorest continent to this day, and you still holding on to a Bible? You still holding on to a Quran? I'm going to have to hit some of y'all with that too. And you still figure out that how is it that we still are on the bottom? You gave something up very special and priceless. It was your spiritual connection with the Creator, and they turn it into a physical and have you doing the physical aspect of things, and yet instead of the spiritual aspect of things. And so we mimic and we copy and we emulate the things that they had us do. These are things that you should do. The Spirit saves people, yes. Oh yeah, the spirit wakens people every day. That spirit wakens people every day. That spirit is in every man, whether you're right, wrong, or indifferent, good, evil, whatever. Every man is without excuse, as the scrolls say. Every man is without excuse because you have the spirit within you to use to be able to bring you out of where you are within yourself. But our actions, the vibrations where we're sitting on, yeah, we'll say it's very low. Very low. Now, I'm not trying to beat up religion. Because when I say the Bible or Quran, let's do the history. And the thing about it that most people need to know, if you step into whatever religion it may be, please go to the country and find the history of its inception. Please do. The one thing I love about here on the East, they tell you when it came in. They tell you when the Africans became Muslims and when the Africans became Christians by those who came in. They got that history right there. And if you didn't bow down to it, you either dealt with a gun or a sword. Pick your choice. So people chose which one they was going to serve in. This is facts. This is in their history, African history right here. I was right over here in the museums, learning the history as those so-called perpetrators came in, bringing in their ideologies, bringing in all their things into the regions that is. Now, let me just say this, cool some people's horses, okay? Christianity and Islam only came out of Egypt, and all it was just interpreted into the ways of where their culture, other cultures were. So you might say Allah, and one says God. Where it was in Egypt was Ptah at one point. So, but that's facts. That is fact. Everything came out of Africa and dispersed amongst the globe, and everybody took out those practices and those principles and created it and made it their own. And then all of a sudden, then when crusades happened, when migrations and people started to try to overtake other places, they brought in their culture, their religions with them. Yes, I've been to Egypt. I did two weeks of that in Egypt. But prior to that, I was studying with some scholars, learning about the history of Kush, the land called Kush, the Nubian world, Ethiopia, Sudan. And there's one thing I love about Egypt, family. And I tell people this right here. You can't change what's written in stone. And it's all over the place. The pyramid text, the coffin text, it's in the temples. The writings are there. The history is there of their spirituality, of their way of life, of their inventions, of all that is in stone. It is like 3/8 deep into stone. But guess what you could do with paper when the interpretations come? You switch it up into the way you want and you could fool people. That's where the saying came from. It's written in stone, was from out of Egypt. Thanks a lot. Just call me Brian. Facts. Ethiopia has been practicing Christianity way before majority of countries in the world, including most countries in Europe, besides Armenia. Christianity became a state religion in Ethiopia around the 5th century. It did, and it wasn't even called Christianity. If anybody know anything about the Ka, the spirit, the Ka, a free Ka, a free spirit, Africa. If you want to know anything about, you gotta do history. But see, if you want to stay right there and remain and not continue to renew your mind and believe that, hey, I believe what I believe, that's okay. I'm not trying to deter anybody because we're talking about vibration, actions. How do these things come about? By actions. How do we get people to behave and do things the way that they have? Is because of the fact that they were taught. Most of your beliefs and views came from what you read, from what somebody taught you, okay, whatever it may be. Very few people could say, I got that from above. That was dropped in my spirit. And I know I've had a lot dropped in my spirit. And then when I come across other old writings and stuff, I'm like, wow, right there, I heard that. I received that. I remember when I got that message. Didn't read it from nowhere, because there's nothing new underneath the sun. We all have the answers within us. Yeah, but you know, you can say the Bible is part of history, but you gotta keep, when they put the Bible together, you gotta remember, there are thousands of scrolls. They decided to put a book together to tell a story. So they pick and choose what they wanted, and they said this will be considered the beginning, right? The first five books of the Bible, right? You know, some call it the the first five books of Moses. Some call it the whatever religions and all that right there. My mind is just going. But I'm just saying, you know, whether it's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Those first five books, Torah, there you go, the Torah, what have you. These are what, you know, they decided to put together to try to tell a story and put things in a so-called manner. You can't, or chronological, what they wanted to actually show, but there was no years or anything. Then they come across writings, which was the New Testament. These writings or letters or whatever. Hey, we could also use these to go ahead and paint this picture that this was of the new books, or the Old Testament, the New Testament. This is what they did. Now, how can you exclude other writings and say these are not welcomed in? That was chosen by a European king. How? And you can find similarities between that and the Quran. But I'm not a scholar on the Quran, so I'm not going to touch much on that in the Quran. But I've had Muslim brothers sit me down, though, and show me some things that I said, man, this correlates together. Of course. But you can find all that in Egypt, the oldest place that you can find the history of all manner of what we know today. Math, science, astrology. I mean, whether it is, you know, health, whether it is building, whether it is spirituality, you know, all of these is there, up and down, all going all the way even to the beginning where the Twa was, with that most would say the beginning of man was the Twa people that you can find at the central of Africa, or where the Nile actually ends over around Uganda, Rwanda, region areas. So that right there, I mean, that's just a little history, but I'm just saying, all of this came from others. Whether it's me talking on this video or whether somebody's writing it on a piece of paper, you cannot just say that this is it and no more. We're squeezing it in here, there's no more room. We fit the Creator or God or Allah in here, and that's all. It's in here, and if it's not in here, it ain't right, it's not factual, it's not. Wow. I'm learning something new every day, and I only know this much about the Creator, and that is it. And what I do know, I don't know much. Because every time I think I know, here comes the left pitch to show me I'm still ignorant in certain things. But at least I know is my experience of what I could share and what I'm seeing that's transpiring today with people who are following those who have no validation about who they are. I don't even know what they even talk about for most of the part. I'm not saying that I know all. I don't know a lot of things. But I know I've been around long enough to discern some people's spirits, and I know I can call it pretty good when I come across people and I'm sitting here saying these people are talking out the side of the neck, ain't got no experience to show for it. Especially when you're young. 20s, 30s. Change a little bit when you get in your 40s. 40s, you start to wake up a little bit if you're open, and you're going to start to see some huge change when you start getting in your 40s. If you're open and willing recipient of the Spirit. I'm just being real. And then what I call the age 50 is an eldership if you are are the watcher, and you are one who have taken a witness, have taken yourself through the test, or have at least been a witness of your life experiences and knowing these things that are fruitful, unfruitful, and how things actually are transpiring in life. Those things is then when you reach the place of an eldership. Not that, you know, some people think, oh, you got to be old. How old do you need to be an elder? 50 now is a number that definitely, if anybody knows, if it came to anything dealing with the works of anything dealing with the Creator in the house of the Lord, if you want to call it that, or when it came to the Levites and them to do the work of the house, once you reach 50, you was released of your duties. You became the elder now. You're not the worker bee. You're the elder. And we need to seek our elders, because that's what we're not doing. We're not seeking those who have a rightful mind, who has a righteous heart, to be able to give us some concrete words that we can chew off of and live off of. Yes, we can go ahead and go to the Creator and we can wait on words to fall within. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, you know what? We're not a willing participant. We're stubborn in our ways. Sometimes we want to have it our way and we get in our own way. Throw a tantrum. This is what I believe this and that. I went to an elder a couple months ago who happened to be my wife's father. I was toiling over some stuff. I was about to make some decisions. And I said, I got to seek an elder. And he is a right man to go to. Because this man is a righteous man. He stands up right, and he's been teaching, and he's been helping people. He's been ministering. I mean, he's been a pastor for 50 years. Now, I'm not saying because he's just in a Christian faith, but all that right there, that makes him of anything. But he has a credible history, and he's 89 years old. And I sat there and knocked on his door and said, I need to talk. Because I'm not sure if I'm hearing right. I'm not sure am I about to make decisions right. Nothing to do with my marriage and not like that, but some other things. Yeah, you know, we got to seek the elders, but where are they? And then when I open my mouth, people are like, oh, here you go. See, you don't know. But then if you got somebody 25, 30, 40 years old, then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, they're professional. They know what they're talking about. Now, I'm not downing anybody in their 20s, 30s, or 40s. There are some things, yes, we do know and we're proficient in, and we have a right to share. Yes, if you are knowledgeable in a place and got credibility along with it, I understand. But I'm talking about life. I'm not talking about head book knowledge. I'm talking about sometimes, you know what? We need to walk through life long enough to understand, I just encountered another cycle of life. I just now in that chapter in that life. Oh, I'm seeing this now. I'm seeing what's happening. I'm seeing some stuff unfold. Oh, we're in a full circle now, completion. I know now. I know now what's to come. Oh, I know what's going to happen. Not trying to act like I know the future, but I know about what's going to happen. It's like people say a new year. Oh, a new year's coming. Oh, for real? You think it's going to be a new year? What's going to happen differently than last year? Okay, all right. I know some people say, well, COVID hit and that was different than any other year. I'm talking about when it comes to COVID is a situation. That's all it is. Life is filled with situations. A situation is a situation is a situation. They just all have different titles. The world decided to lock most of the things down because of the COVID. They chose to do that off of a situation. Now, has that ever happened before? Of course it's happened before. But it's still the same situation. It's a situation. So your life situations are still going to be here this year. It just all depends on your actions, your vibration. It all depends on your vibration. Your attitude's vibration. Like I said, for those who's been coming in and haven't been here, your life is a vibration. because you, spiritually first, that's a vibration, as well as your body is a vibration. Yeah. And so I hope, family, that I made a little clear of this vibration, this energy, this chakras, these frequencies that we're hearing people talk, you know, these terminologies, being woke, I'm woke and I'm conscious and all this right here. And I know that people are trying to understand, trying to behave in those certain manners, and it doesn't mean nothing. It don't make you nothing. Because like I said, the day that you think you woke is the day that you're asleep. You still sleep. It don't make you no better than nobody else. Let me see what some folks are saying. And then we're going to go ahead and call it here at the end. And then I got to reach back out to my brother because he's trying to reach me so I can get me another place to stay tomorrow. Here you go. Black Knight, you new here or what? Do you have a moderator, bro? Do you read these comments? Hey, Black Knight. You are the moderator. You have the choice to use your vibrational eyes to read and allow to get caught up in it, or you can use your vibrational brain and ignore it. Who said did you have to read the chat? I thought you was listening to me. See, when I turn off the chats, people get upset. Why you turn the chats off? Why you turn the chats off? Why not? Can we just listen? The element that is rarely used is really listening. The art of listening is one of the hardest things. Next to taming one's tongue. Everybody wants to talk. That's why I've been saying earlier, you know, you have to get to a silent place. If you want to see change, I'm telling y'all, get to your silent place. Just be quiet. Turn that TV off, turn that computer off, whatever, and just roam throughout the day. And just be full of just openness. Not thought. Just be open. Just go outside and appreciate the tree. Wow, look at these trees. I had that one day happen to me. I dropped that on my wife when I heard it dropped on me. A tree is just not a tree. I thought a tree was just a tree. Well, you got many trees. You got fruit trees, you know, you got all these different other types of trees, but trees are just not trees. Trees is a house for birds. A tree is a shade for you. A tree is homes to many animals and insects. Trees also bring expels oxygen. It also brings in our carbon dioxide. It has a many of functions. Go out and let nature teach you and open you up and show you some spiritual meanings. But our moderators are each one of you all. I've deputized all my people to be moderators, and that is ignore the ignorance. Because we already know darkness loves to have light shown in it, because it's lonely being in the dark. And when you treat darkness with silence, it just dissipates. It disappears. As soon as you give an answer to it, or you respond to them, oh, you've given it energy. You now given it a vibration. You've given it your time and energy. You don't want that. So I appreciate my folks out here who's been listening to me. They know to ignore it. And I know there are new ones that come in and they get caught into the sidebar chats, caught up in there, because you can discern the ignorance when somebody says something. I love Trump. We should vote for Trump. Now, who would be woke enough to realize that's a troll that is trying to get some attention. That's when you grow into a discernment. When you can walk out here and somebody say something to you and say, I know that spirit right there. I don't even need to respond because they looking for a fight. Or you can walk out there and be like, I know that spirit right there. That spirit right there is a spirit of love. That spirit, I know that spirit right there. They're down and depressed. Say a good word to them. When you know them, then all of a sudden you become powerful and people will come out seeking you. But the trolls, we need the trolls. How else are we going to get perfected without temptations? How can you get iron sharpens iron? Yes, trolls are iron. They're going to develop you. What are you going to do? You know, I've said this in one of my videos, and maybe some of y'all didn't hear. You know, growing up, Mom, they talked about me. They was calling me this, calling me that. And my mom would say, oh, yeah? And when you're 6 feet under, they still going to be talking about you. So now what are you going to do? You don't get carried out about what nobody say. So what somebody's talking the ignorance out of their mouth. Ignorance deserves to be ignored. Ignorance deserves ignoring. So that's the power of it. So when people come on my channel, I don't have moderators because I want the trolls to come in and get frustrated. Now, I've removed some trolls at times, you know what I'm saying? Because there are those who just becomes the nuisance to where it's just like, you know, hey, I can just go in and hit and just say hi to the person and not give them any light or energy. And nobody else in the chat will even know until they see delete, delete, delete. But I didn't have to repeat or say their name because that's what they want. They want their name mentioned and they want their response, what they say, mentioned on live so they can get that feeling of attention. These are people who live in a dark place, people who need love, people who needs a hug because they have nothing else to do. But how does it look for you if you stoop to somebody else's vibration, their actions, that you're going to now, because of their ignorance, you're going to start calling them names. You're going to start belittling them. What does that say about you now? Because we're talking about vibrations. Is your actions going to go to the depths of where theirs is? Or you can remain on high and be like, ignore. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, family, I have to go. I thank each and every one of y'all for coming in. Thank you for those who financially was able to give. If they, you know, giving from free of the heart. Like I said before, I don't ask anybody for any money. I don't ask and put up cash apps and all that right there. I initially started when I did this thing because I found myself following the trend. And I said, oh, that is not me. And I definitely don't need money from anybody. But there are those who want to give and receive, because some people already know the principle. Scrolls say, hey, and not just, this ain't just about money. But the scrolls say, give and it shall be given to you, the same measure, pressed down, shaken, running over, shall men give into your bosom. Same measure, men shall give into your bosom. So some people know already about the art of giving, the law, of giving. It's already written into the universe. If you give, it's going to be given back to you, the same measure, shaken down, pressed down, and shaken and running over. Shall men give into your bosom. I got a story for y'all real quick before I go, because this right here hit home for me for when I actually was able to understand the scrolls writings from our elders who got it from the Creator. And that was, there was one day I was leaving from Washington, D.C., going to Colorado Springs, Colorado. I was in the military and I was getting stationed. And I had my barbershop. And a woman came in, I cut her hair and all that. And I had them long, old shears. Long, old shears. Hard to come by. And the woman said, man, I love those shears. I would love to have those shears. Without a thought, I gave it to her. Here, you can have it. She's like, no. I said, no, if you want it, you can have it. without a thought, I said, if you want to, I was in that period of my time of just like, if a man asked, give, and I gave. Would you not believe? Now listen to this. This is how hard them shears came by. You just couldn't find them shears anywhere. They weren't sold in the stores. I can't even remember where I came across those shears. People always asked about them. They were them long ones. I use them on the afros because they're so long. I mean, everybody would be amazed at them. Would you not believe? When I got to Colorado, about a year later, a woman came in my shop. She said, you know what? I used to be a beautician and I got some stuff that I just don't want to throw it away. I just want to give it to somebody. Guess what she had? She had those daggone long shears. My eyes got big like they're getting now, and I started trembling. I was like, it's true. It's absolutely true. I took those shears and I had a guy build a frame, and I put that shears in a frame and put that scripture right there underneath it. Turn around and give them shears away. but that right there, these are steps in life that I take hold to, I watch, I discern, and I hold them, and I practice it and see if it comes to pass. It's that right there is my truth, right there. And so for those who gave, thank you for giving. But there are those who gave their time. There are those who also share these videos with people. There are those who give in different ways. Giving their hearts, their kind words. Because remember, spirits is beyond money. And I'm thankful for everybody who is giving to whatever capacity. Oh, and for those who know, I've been talking about the daggone stabilizer, and I found a stabilizer for my camera. No more shakiness. Man, it might be a little small shakiness because this is a 2-axle. I need the 3-axle, but I'm gonna get the 3-axle anyway down the road, but they don't have it. But no more shakiness with the camera and all that right there. And guess what? Those who gave financially, this is where money's gonna go towards equipment and stuff like that to give us a better product. So I thank each and every one of you all for all of that, y'all time, your giving, and I wish you all a good day. And until later or tomorrow, I'll be back. Blessings.